Hi folks, you're with Taskless today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this live stream. I'm just going to give a short update on my view, at least, as to the Australian federal election. Now, there's the people go to the polling booths. I think it's next weekend or this coming weekend, and the election campaign is underway or has been for a number of weeks now, and the distressing thing, I mean, it's almost agonising to look at, is the policies of all the major parties are just straight out of the globalist playbook. I don't think there's one original policy. I mean, there are things like we're going to have gay, lesbian, this or something, but that again is part of the wider globalist project anyway. So there's nothing that's original. There's nothing that's being done for Australia, for this country. The major parties are completely controlled by the globalists and are just implementing and pushing the globalist policies. Now they're dressing it up in slightly different clothes depending on the party, but that's what it is. It's just globalist policies. And what a tragedy! What a tragedy! Australia's got no sovereign government or no sovereign politicians, certainly not in the major parties. And all they're doing is just mouthing globalist slogans and globalist talking points. I mean, it's fucking pathetic, seriously. Now, just a couple of days ago, I met one of the hopeful politicians. She's not in the parliament at the moment, but she's hoping to get up in the election. And I don't know, she'd be a woman about 40, I suppose. Like if her IQ is even 100, I'd be surprised, really. I don't think it is. But she's now, this is how the system gets corrupted. She's allegedly been selected and voted for by the people in that local area, like the local town or suburb. And the way it's meant to work is those people in that local community get together and they decide who they want to represent them in the federal parliament, and it's someone they've known for a long time and has grown up in the area, who went to school, who works in the area, lives in the area, that sort of thing. And the reality is this woman doesn't, and she's been imposed on the local electoral district by head office, by the party machine. Now, the party machine was the first thing the globalists went to take over. That's the administration, the central head office administration, if you like, of the political parties. So they took that first. They put all the administrators in there, and then they in turn started selecting the candidates that the globalists wanted. And they wanted their own ideological people in there, or they wanted idiots who would go along with the ideological people. And this woman clearly is one of the idiots that's meant to go along with the ideological people. But there's no way the locals would have voted for her. She didn't live in the area. She only moved in about a year ago. So she's hardly a candidate that you'd say, wow, she's really going to represent the area. In terms of, just a brief chat I had with her, in terms of the current affairs and the world issues, she hasn't got a fucking clue. Not a clue. I mean, just the light's wrong, but nobody's home. These blank stares come back, and even if you look at the sort of the possibility that she's trying to play dumb rather than say something that maybe get caught up in the media firestorm or something, even allowing for that, she's completely stupid. So they've imposed this moron on the local electoral districts. Okay, she's the candidate. That's it. Don't like it. Fuck off. So she's being imposed by the machine. And this is really how the globalists are functioning. They're imposing moronic, low IQ governments upon us that just simply represent the globalists. They get their orders from and are directed by and are ordered about by the globalists. The people have no say in the matter anymore. And whether you vote for Globalist Party A or Globalist Party B or even Globalist Party C, it doesn't make any difference. The globalists still get what they want, and it doesn't matter. I mean, the different parties may want to win because then they control the mid-level patronage machines, so they can give out well-paying jobs to their buddies and their relatives and their mistresses, and they can give cosy government contracts to their friends, this friend rather than that that one, and this sort of thing. So they want to control the patronage machine and get closer access to getting their own snouts in the trough. And if they control the levers of power, they can then dispense favours to things like big banks or so on, who can then make sure that these politicians are able to buy real estate at incredibly cheap prices and then sell it 12 months later for massive profits. I mean, the genius of these politicians. These politicians are all genius investors. Somehow they just know. How do they do it? And can make millions on a single transaction. So anyway, that's it. There's nothing to report. There's no policies to say, well, gee, this party's got this great policy or this party's got that. They both support mass migration. They both support mass migration of illiterate third world peasants. They both support the mass migration of family members. After one gets here, they can import every family member down to the 10th cousin to come over. They support gay, lesbian this and transgender that, and they're more interested in how many transgender bathrooms there are in the place. They're more interested in having black lesbians in sport, and they put into transgender people, put into women's sport and this sort of stuff. That they're just, there is no policy, nothing I can see in the platforms. And maybe I'm missing it. Maybe it's in some obscure fine detail on page 10,000 or something that I've missed. But there is nothing from the major parties that has anything to do with supporting Australia. Now, that doesn't mean they're short on sort of platitude type slogans. Our policies are going to make the cost of living fall. Our policies will make everybody, well, milk and honey will roll in the street. Our policies will make all black lesbians happy. Our policies are for families. Our policies are for children, little children dressed in pink, little girls. Our policies are for them. So they come out with all these stupid slogans, but there's no details. Well, okay, fine. You're going to reduce the cost of living. How are you going to do that? And then, even where they do say something, well, we're going to give every family, every household, $10 or something off the price of electricity bill. We're out there doing it for the people. $10 out of electricity that's more than doubled in the last 12 months anyway. You fucking morons. So this is the state of the politics. It is just all a globalist play. The globalists are in complete and total control, and that's very sad. So we can only hope that the minor parties are able to substantially improve their position. I mean, we can only pray for that outcome, or we can pray that the major parties decide they represent the Australian electorate. Maybe we can hope for that. But either way, we've got to prevent this total sellout to the globalists, which, by the way, has been going on in Australia for 25 years, if not longer. You've been a Tastus today, your Pushback channel, and thank you for listening.